Yeah, and also you don't want to be, say, approaching the oki with your head down as well, looking for where your feet are going to go. The easiest way to do it is just to stride up, put your foot on it, and then move it back, rather than trying to second guess where the actual step is. I think it's part of the process. There's obviously mechanisms that players go through.
It's not as if you're going to throw with your foot on the oki and cause a foul throw. 14's on 70. Way more popular now. Double four does not come to Ricardo's rescue this time. This is a great chance for Woody to win a leg that he hasn't really been a part of that much. Again, it's just like leg number 4.
40. Ricardo, you require 8.
Does he fear the worst now, Luke Woodhouse? Petresco has already taken out double four. He's looking at it once again, this time to level the match at 3 apiece. And he takes it with his second dart in hand as well, and all of a sudden there is a very different gloss on this one. Luke Woodhouse looked to be in a fairly good place, even though he got away with a couple of incidents in opening up that 3-1 lead, but he's been clawed back on double four on 2 occasions by Petresco. And the German darts champion of 2023 is involved once again.
Understand that when you lose, you learn more about yourself than winning.
Well, he scored 40 points with his first 2 darts there. Went for the 20s, but then, of course, in so doing, was leaving himself exposed to the prospect of leaving himself a bogey number. And Petresco has rattled in a 180 for good measure, just to compound the misery for Luke Woodhouse, who has just given Petresco another helping hand, although Petresco did himself a massive favour, of course, as well.
If this goes in, I can't envisage how the last 90 seconds could have gone worse for Woodhouse.
Gains from the 8th leg.
The miscount,
Ricardo Petresco.
the 180 for Ricardo.
9th leg, Ricardo to throw first.
Woody almost reaching for the white flag in this one because he's lost 4 straight legs. That's for much more to save a contest.
170.
First dart's got to be high in the 60. You'll take it. Just run out of room. If that was 2 millimeters higher, the likelihood is that second dart is in.
130.
Bullseye for good measure.
65.
But it could well be the end of the road for Luke Woodhouse, because Petresco returns, and he may well be on course for back-to-back 14 darters here. Just checking. Tops is the required target. Big deep breath for Ricardo Petresco,
25.
who misses a first match dart.
Luke,
I think it's very strange that he went for the 70 and then asked if he's got 40 left. Of course he knew he had 57.
He did that in that final as well, I recall, in Hildesheim.
Luke Woodhouse.
Now, well, it is just never ceases to amaze me how matches of this nature can quickly turn at such a decisive moment as well.
This is why people love this sport, because there's always something going on.
I mean, Petresco had a match start on tops, and I just wonder whether that hesitation when he checked might just have derailed him slightly.
This leg is not over though. That maximum from Ricardo, that's his 5th of the contest. There's been a sneaky 8 in the game, but this is a match-saving double. Wonderfully done. 24 darts for the last 2 legs to save the contest, to take us all the way. Fair play, Woody.
It might well give him something to work with. Single 17 to leave 74. Can't find the treble 14 that would have left double 16, and on we go. But Woodhouse is still adrift on 186.
You're standing in his shoes right now. You think to yourself, I do my job here. Don't take for granted that he's going to hit this. This is not a gimme, but the pressure's on. Let's see what Ricardo can do to win his 9th game of the season.
Well, he's already had 1 match start on tops, and this time he makes absolutely no mistake. Ricardo Petresco withstands the fight back of Luke Woodhouse.
So far away from what he's used to. But I was perplexed there, Dan. 207, someone who's got this really good likelihood of grouping 3 darts together. Why wouldn't he go for the 171 down in the 19 to leave 36, which he also loves?
Yeah, it's an option, but how about this? he's not really making use of the marker darts. I know he did for the tops finish, and he does eventually with the final dart there, but Jermaine's got a chance on the ball. And pins it. Jermaine Watermainer with the first breaker throw in this game. We're into the fifth leg here, and not much has changed for Ross Smith in the scoring phase. And his biggest weapon is not there today, and I'm not sure how he's going to win this game without it.
At which point does he start switching to the 19s?
I don't think it's the worst idea in the world, even if it's just for a few visits. One in there.
Even hitting that one, he had to move because it was dangling. That's only his second 140 of the game.
160.
Ooh, hang about. Double top. Oh, it's beautiful. Jermaine Watermainer is racing through this now. He's enjoying himself.
And Jermaine could well do that.
20 segment leaves the bullseye. And that is so close to the match, and he knows it.
Rossi requires 73.
But does he have to go back to 501 again? Does this game continue? Ross himself is not bad on doubles at 50% in the match.
53.
He needed the extra shot.
Jermaine, you require 25.
Jermaine Watermainer has not beaten a seeded player on the Euro Tour for 5 years.
17.
And he still hasn't. But you would think he's going to get more chances.
Not guaranteed. Ross's job from here on out is to stop Jermaine from getting more match shots. Can he do it with double five?
10.
Symptomatic of how his Saturday has been.
It's a shocker for Smudger. And the machine gun makes him pay. Jermaine Watermainer has powered through to the final day here in Belgium. But as you say, he got into the Grand Slam, where he promptly lost to Johnny Clayton.
108 for a 2-0 lead.
56.
Yeah, wasn't too much pressure on that, given the state of play with Johnny Clayton's positioning here. But Johnny Clayton can make a significant move.
174.
And he's done precisely that. So just one or two questions being asked of Berry Van Peer here with this 52. And he comes up with the necessary answers on double eight for a 2-0 lead. Enable Van Peer to make another move, especially if he can fill this lot up.
180.
Well, a timely injection of pace from Berry Van Peer gets him down to a finish of 136 on the Clayton throw.
59.
Johnny at least getting the numbers right there to leave himself 170. 419s. Leave tops.
58.
And he gets a couple of them.
170.
Clayton got a chance here. He's got a real chance. Oh, Johnny Clayton! From 2-0 down, Clayton leads, and the 170 puts him ahead for the first time.
Game.
And the crowd in Visa find their voice once again, rising unanimously there to acclaim Johnny Clayton with the big fish. Just all coming together now for Johnny Clayton.
434.
Sublime piece of approach play, on course for a 13 darter, and crucially another breaker throw. He got the break back. This could be much more significant.
40.
Well, big fishes all well and good, but approach play like that from Johnny Clayton to back it up.
Got to be perfect here. 2 trebles and a double, or a treble and 2 doubles. That treble doesn't do.
Oh, 82. Only require 82.
Bullseye. Oh, interesting. Well, that leaves the bull.
57.
Well, interesting. I was not expecting Johnny Clayton to utilise that route.
48.
Well, what it's done, it's just allowed Van Peer again, who looks to be really labouring here, doesn't he? I wouldn't say he's feeling 100%. but
28th leg, Barry Van
you wouldn't know it given the way he
Van
finished that lot off.
Throw first.
That reaction from Barry Van Peer tells its own story as well. Well, you know, he scored 81 there, but he knows that he needed a bit more because Clayton is going to keep on coming right back at him. 137, but it could have been more manageable. And Clayton will be looking at 106 in a moment.
And again, it's one you quite fancy him to get a shot for. He is taking most of his chances. He only needs to take one more, and he will get a chance. And it's double 16. And he takes his chance. It is clinical from Clayton. The Ferret winning again at the Belgian Darts Open.
The title sponsors here have done a brilliant job of making the practice area as comfortable as possible. The players love it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's very roomy, very spacious. Now, is there space here for a Shanghai? Well, he's found a way through into the top corner. Can't find tops for the Shanghai finish. Dolan now looking at 116, having made a real hash of his attempts at double 6, double 3 and double 1 in the previous leg. Won't want to hang around too much longer. Treble 19 would have left tops.
56. And you require 40.
Surely Heta.
Yeah.
No messing around. 16 darter. That's his best leg of the match so far. But he.
And then you require 150.
Well, look, the monkey paradox.
You read it? You read it before?
I've delved into it here and there.
Hang on a minute.
Oh.
Brendan Dolan. You've got a bullseye in the top corner. If it had been top left, he might have gone for it, you know.
Whitlock would have. Heta tops 5-1 and another break of throw. Sorry, double 10.
35. Brendan, you require 60.
Come on then, Brendan. Bull double 5. Only joking. He's going to go 20 for tops, of course. And he loves that. That marker is perfect. Had he gone to the right-hand side of the barrel, see how those darts kick over? He can try and caress it through on the right side of the barrel, but the left-hand side closes it off.
Double 2 again. He's found this already today, and he's found it once again. And Damon Heta is closing in on his place in the last 16. Yeah, there's no harm in warming into a tournament and keeping a little bit in reserve as well. Dolan will have a look at this 1-2-1, although if he doesn't take it out, it could well be curtains because Heta's left himself 42, and this is to effectively keep himself in the match. Brendan Dolan, time is running out, needs this. Gets the treble 17, gets the single 20 to leave the bullseye, and having taken out the dead cat bullseye before, can't find it when he needed it.
That might be that. Double 16. At a canter, Damon Heta wins again against Brendan Dolan.
Might drop off a cliff and he might end up losing this game 6-2, who knows? But he does. You can get very excited about Ryan Searle because he can do wonderful things. Treble 17, found, bullseye.
76. Richard, you require 106.
Not to be a 12 darter. Might not even be a leg win here. Tops for Richard. Yes, we might have a game in our hands now. Great riposte there, but a needed ton plus check out there.
You require 116.
He's just sticking around, being pesky right now is Richard, but that single 7 scuppers that. A bullseye finish for Johnny Clayton a couple of games ago was a bit of a game changer, but the bullseye's not even needed. Double 8.
70.
Wired shots at doubles. He's already had
40.
double digits at the outer ring, and it's only like 5.
And he finds himself behind once again.
Ryan is the favourite to take us level after 8. Another third dart pickup makes the next potential shot just a little bit easier, and the fact that he hit 51 to leave 56 could be key here because he's all about leaving the top of the shop.
Double 10 is found, and it is 4-all. It's another break of throw. It's 6 consecutive breaks of throw we've had in this game. Not enough to pressure this. It allows Veenstra the luxury of being able to set up. which he does excellently.
I think if you were to make this game best of 19 or even best of 31, it would just continue like this the whole time. It's been a brilliant thing to watch. Is it going the distance? It might not.
Ryan, you require 80.
Double 10 for the match. Oh,
60.
heavy metal wires the dart that would have won it.
One left. Oh, what a lovely little nestler that is.
Richard Veenstra.
That was a brilliant dart from Richard.
Starting leg.
Superb timing, just like 5 treble 20s in 6 darts at the start of this last leg.
His first TV9 darter back end last year at the
85.
Grand Slammer darts. But an 11 or 12 darter here guarantees a victory, a hard-fought
60.
victory
Ryan, you require
for Ryan
96.
Searle. He could have won it much easier. He could have lost it in the end. Oh.
56.
Didn't even go for the 60 there. That was a layup, and it was a very sensible one as that, because imagine if he hits the 60 and starts splitting doubles. He'd much rather just lead tops with
Ryan, you
3 darts in hand.
40.
Working his way in. And finds the winning dart. Ryan Searle had to graft for that. 2-1-8, he's in a 1-7-7 in the last 3 legs.
Hold my beer, says Chris Dobie.
190. Danny require 106.
Dobie with genuine hopes of a break if Danny Noppert fluffs his lines with this one. Tops he wants for a 3-2 lead.
86. Chris, you require 43.
He was under pressure very early in this leg on his own throw, Danny Noppert. He nearly rescued it with 177, 106 out back to back. But Dobie
Game
pins the double 16 for a 14-dart break, and Chris Dobie leads this match for the first time.
You require 156.
Yeah, he may well feel this has to go, Chris Dobie, and it's not going to go, and Danny Noppert has a very good chance to get the break that he needs.
140. Danny require 121.
12 darts potentially to level things up at 4 apiece. Treble 17 to leave the bullseye. Dobie will return.
57. Chris, you require 16.
Well, this would be the best leg of the match if he goes first dart. He doesn't like it. But he'll love that. That's a superb adjustment from Dobie. It
Ninth
was.
leg, Danny to throw first. Chris, you require 108.
4 19s for double 16. He has already missed a couple of match darts. Can he get one more here? Yes, he can, with another brilliant adjustment. Back to the centre of the hockey, double 16. And
76.
Dobie is
Danny
still
require
waiting.
112.
Well, double 16 has been his nemesis so far in this match for Chris Dobie. 3 missed darts to secure a place in the 3rd round tomorrow, and the wheels are falling off once again for Danny Noppert here. 21 scored with his first 2 darts. That leaves 91. Takes off
72.
the 51 as well for good measure, but it might be too late.
I think Danny Noppert's made an error there. I think he could have gone treble 18 for double 19. I think that was a more sensible option. He did not take it. And Dobie finally take his chance. Might have to go. And he
24.
cannot do it. And it is now 6 mismatched darts for Hollywood.
And maybe, just maybe, we are going to 11 legs after all. Danny Noppert with the ultimate lifeline. Chris Dobie will be kicking himself that it's gone this far. Here's
Require 129.
all the time in the world and plenty of darts in hand here for Danny Noppert as well. 110 away, gets the treble and sets it up
89.
nicely with a shot at tops as well.
Every single leg has been won in 5 or 6 visits to the board. It has been a compelling game.
64.
And while Dobie is 9 points behind in the
requires
averages,
40.
he's had 6 match darts, but he's not going to get any more. Because Danny Noppert steals the win away from Dobie, who exits the stage crestfallen.
To some extent last year as well. But when you lay it bare over what he's been doing over 200 legs, his last 200 legs, that is absolutely phenomenal.
41.
I blame Ryan Searle. Obviously knocking him into shape. And
Somerset connection.
I think as well, it may be something as simple as
98.
Gary really likes
40.
Ryan, likes spending time with him, and it's made practice fun.
It's an unlikely combination. As I know they live quite near each other, so obviously that lends itself. But Anderson narrowly missed out on perfection in the final on 2 occasions. He went close as well in the semi-final against Peter Wright. But yeah, that was an astonishing occasion.
It's amazing how many times you see practice partners playing in a competitive match on a stage or in a booth in Players Championships, and they deliver great chemistry. Michael Smith against Ian White was always a good game.
Now then, double 10.
Good.
What a skin saver that was from Gary Anderson.
This is maybe one of the best wins a Swede has ever had.
Well, I was going to say, even if he loses, it could be one of his best performances on the European Tour, because he's still averaging 101. That's
107.
Maintained it, and he's still involved. Anderson needs the big fish. Otherwise, Harrison is looking at the break of throw that he's been craving for such a long time.
It's another crack at a 1-2-1. Will be the highest finish of the match by the Swede, because I've had the 1-2-8 from Gary. It's a bullseye effort. And it's an equaliser! My word! What has Gary got to do to get rid of this guy? Belgian Darts Open. Gary wants to have a crack at either of them tomorrow.
152.
Needs something significant just to reapply the pressure as well, because Anderson slowly but surely has found his way back into this leg.
I'm not sure how that went in. Does this go in with 2 tops? Key shot, gaping hole, and finds it for a break of throw.
Not out of it just yet either.
Gary's got a match-winning chance. Andreas has got to force him into hitting it.
Ton 40 would be lovely.
161.
It's just a ton. He's still got a chance. Anderson, though, has to slip up on 161, which he has. So Harrison will look at this 140. Wayward second dart from
83.
Anderson, but he picks up the pieces with the third.
140.
First dart in, second dart in, another! Oh, what's going on? What a game! What a performance from the Swede to take us all the way, and Gary is left dizzy.
61.
Yeah, just lost his way with the thinking, with the counting there. Anderson just had a quick check to see where Harrison was. He then realised that he didn't have to be overly aggressive with that particular visit. But yeah, Harrison needs to play his percentages, needs to give himself the shot, needs to give himself the chances. Having played so well and having produced that moment of magic in the 10th leg to level things up, Gary Anderson steps in, and with an average very much in keeping with what he's been doing so far this year.
Get the ranking money. Dirk doing the numbers here. So 54 off and leaves 72.
Oh,
yeah.
I get it. Yeah, all the 18s.
Okay, could have been, yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It is look, he does take you by surprise sometimes. Cullen wasn't on a finish, so he wouldn't have gone that way if Cullen was on a finish.
It's almost as if we're the maths teacher and he's the student, and he's cleverer than us. He's teaching us. It's 3-3 and we're going to have more legs. He was in a position of high chest. The lower back was curved and it didn't look natural. At the minute, it looks way better. Great approach from Joe there. Still averaging over 100, has been all game.
Yeah, but he is in a spot of bother here. Or could be. Ooh.
75.
Well,
170.
he's not put a huge amount of pressure on, but Cullen may feel he has to go for it anyway. Does he go for it? Yes, he does! Nod of the head from the rock star as he pins the 170 to hold his throw once again.
Well, surely he's got to follow the textbook on a 1-2-2. 2 routes here. We've got 25 or the 18s. Anything else? He's not going to look up his sleeve. That doesn't help.
82. They require 74.
Real chance for a break of throw to give him some breathing space. Double 16. Yeah, brilliant stuff from Joe Cullen. Really is standing up to just underline his calibre. He has been such a force on the European tour over the last few years.
That wavering of the shoulders that was very evident at the start of his career has almost been eliminated.
434.
And I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he is technically.
He was a dart away from being Premier League champion. He was so close to beating Michael Smith at the Grand Slam that Smith would eventually go on to win.
107.
Some very close run things in the World Championship. Could he produce another? Oh, there's shoals of them! Shoals and shoals of big fish for Joe Cullen. He hits the 170 for the second time in the game. Unbelievable performance from Joe Cullen.